Okay, this is an audio post, if there is such a thing. I'm not typing the post, I'm not writing the post. I'm, I'm recording a audio post. Anyway, why would I do that? Well, I like the sound of my own voice. Not really. I sound like a hick every time I hear myself. I can't believe it's me. But also, uh, this is the year 2018. You can Google about anything. You can Google, uh, how to build a space shuttle, and some stuff will come up. It doesn't mean you can build a space shuttle. You can Google the best way to dismember and hide a body, and you're going to get some information. That's the great thing about today's time. Uh, Also, you can Google how to have your own on-air podcast. You know, I love listening to podcasts. I hate depriving the world of my wit and my knowledge. I'm not, so why not? Anyway, not that you're going to take the time to listen. I have some sponsors. Actually, I don't have any sponsors at all. So I'm just going to make it up. This is sponsored by Dasani Sparkling Naturally Flavored Water Beverage. I have blood orange flavor right now. I wish I could show it to you. Well, I guess I could, but I'm not going to. It don't matter. It's also, this is sponsored by Bedhead Manipulator Matte Wax. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Gives you that just out of bed look. If it sounds like I'm in a coffee can, it's because I am. Not really. I am recording this on a laptop that I literally bought from a kid in the year 2013. Yeah, I bought it off a kid. I still have to enter the name of his dog to get into the computer. That's the password. I'm not going to tell you the password because you'll come over and try to get my computer. But anyway, that's why I don't even know what this sounds like right now. Doesn't matter because there's nobody out there probably. I'm going to talk real quick. My post would be, if I was going to type it, instead I'm speaking, we've already covered that, about the slow, agonizing death of bookstores. I had this discussion with a good friend of mine the other day. I've actually talked to a couple people about this. In my life, I've already pretty much seen the death of record stores. And I'm not trying to be one of those old people. I stream music constantly. I miss the days, in a way, where the new album, the new CD, remember CDs, would come out, and you'd go and the day of, like you couldn't wait for the store to open, and you go buy it, and you sit there and look through all the pictures and the liner notes, and those days are pretty much dead. And there's still some independent record stores. Obviously, there's one here in town that I'm real good friends with the owner. They still exist, and they're awesome. Thank goodness for those. And now it's just recently come to my attention in a way that the bookstores are on their way out, like the dinosaurs were. What was that, 15, 20 years ago, the dinosaurs? I don't have any stats in front of me. I never have any stats in front of me. But this is the truth. There used to be a bookstore chain called Borders. I don't think they were around here. I don't really know where they were. It don't matter because they're nowhere now. Dead. See ya. Rest in peace. Bye, Borders. Books A Million. I know at one time they had one in Clarksville. I don't know for sure. They're in existence barely. And of course, Barnes and Noble. There's still one here in Bowling Green, thank God. I don't know the future. I don't, like I said, I don't have a lot of things to back up what I know. This is true that the bookstores are they're not dead. They're on life support. Maybe even hospice is in there. I don't know. I've always loved bookstores. When I lived in Lexington a few years ago, I moved up there right after. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of stuff, but I moved up there immediately after getting sober, and instead of going to bars and getting smashed all the time, my sanctuary became a bookstore. There was one in Lexington, still is, I guess, called Joseph Beth. I can't say that. Why can I not say that? It was like, oh my God, I would work all day, and I was still trying to deal with not being drunk, and the fact that after work I wasn't going to get smashed. And my, once again, sanctuary became Joseph Best. I didn't go every day, but I went a lot, man. And Joseph Best is like this huge bookstore. If anybody's been there, they know what I'm talking about. It's like a fucking Home Depot for, there's bad language in there, sorry, I meant to tell you that, for books. And then coffee. And it also had like a cafe that served pretty good food, but it was huge. It was so big. I would park my car or whatever, and I would skip into Joseph Best. Not really. Thought about it. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it was just like Narnia, I don't even really know what Narnia is. But I went in there, and I would it depends on what mood I was in, but most of the time, if I had a lot of time, which back then I did, I would make the rounds. I'd go to the magazines, and I'm not talking about a magazine rack with People and Rolling Stone and the damn Inquirer. I'm talking about magazines for every single thing in the world. Just whatever subject, I'd look at those, sit around. They had a bunch of couches and recliners, and they might have had beds. I would go to the music or performing arts, kind of make my way through that section. Might spend 20 or 30 minutes there, and just so forth and so on. Loved it so much. That particular bookstore was on its deathbed and got resuscitated somehow financially. And I remember when I was living there, I was like, no, man, this can't happen. So anyway, the point being, and then of course come back to Bowling Green a few years later, Barnes & Noble's not the same as Joseph Best, with all due respect, but I still love it. I mean, you walk in a bookstore, first thing is the smell of coffee smacks you in the face. Not really. And I'm not talking about the Kroger generic shit that's in my cabinet. I'm talking about good coffee. And then the aforementioned books everywhere, magazines, things to read. The only thing that would have made the whole, topped it off would have been some strippers. Put a few poles in there. I would have had a bunch of ones for that. Bookstores were always set up, they always have been, to not, it's kind of funny, you can go get books and just sit around and read them and not buy a damn thing. I did that a few times. I'm not a business major, that can be real good, but I always tried to buy and make purchases on a regular basis too, The problem is, I guess, is you can buy so many things online, used, Amazon, and now Kindle. A friend of mine got me a Kindle and I love it. I mean, I've adapted to that too, but I know how important these places were at the time. Right after I kicked alcohol, I developed this thirst, if you will, for knowledge, and I told myself not to say and there I go. But that's what I did. I couldn't wait to read something. In high school, I didn't want to read any goddamn thing. You know, like my assignment would be to read this. And if I didn't read it, I was going to get shot in the mouth with a bazooka. And I still wasn't going to read it. I almost flunked out of some easy stuff because people, they wanted me to read it. And now it's like it's my whole life is reading. Well, not my whole life. But anyway, something that's heavy on my mind, and it's slowly going by the wayside, which you could argue that I am too. So, I don't know, place your bets, folks. Who will die first? Who will last longer, Todd Bratcher or Bookstores? But I know this, if I'm still around, if I outlast Bookstores, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll have to go back to hookers, things of that nature. We won't talk about that. That'd be another entry. Thanks to both of you who listen to this. Have a great day.